Most gardeners are accidentally starving their soil, and then wondering why weeds keep taking over. That's the part no one tells you. When your soil lacks biological activity, especially worms and microbes, weeds don't just appear randomly. They move in to repair the imbalance. So every time you pull weeds without fixing the soil, you're just resetting the problem. And that's exactly why your yields drop, your plants stay weak, and your soil becomes harder every season. Before we go deeper, there's one small habit that changed everything for me. How I handle kitchen waste before it ever touches the soil. I use a simple countertop compost bin, the Enloy compost bin for kitchen countertop. It keeps scraps from going anaerobic or drying out, which is what most people mess up early. I'll leave the exact one I use in the description if you want to check it out. It's a small detail, but it directly affects how active your soil becomes later. Now let's get into the method that actually turns your garden into a worm factory. What most people get wrong about worms and weeds. Worms don't show up because you want them. They show up because conditions are right. Moisture, oxygen, and most importantly, consistent food in the right form. And weeds, they're not the enemy, they're a signal. Bare soil invites weeds. Dead soil depends on weeds. The ancient method we're talking about today fixes both problems at once by doing something modern gardening often ignores. Keeping soil covered and biologically fed at all times. This is the ancient method that changes everything. Instead of leaving soil exposed or dumping compost all at once, this method layers organic material directly onto the soil surface in thin, consistent cycles. Think of it like feeding your soil daily, not occasionally. You take soft organic matter, kitchen scraps that have slightly broken down, fresh green plant cuttings, and mix them with dry carbon materials like shredded leaves or paper. Then you spread a thin layer over your soil, not thick, about 1 to 2 inches max. That's where most people mess up. They pile it too thick, it compacts, and oxygen disappears. You want a breathable layer, then you lightly water it, and you leave it. No digging, no turning, no burying. That's where the magic starts. What happens under that layer will surprise you. Within just a few days, microbes begin breaking everything down. Fungi start to spread across the surface, and interestingly, worms move upward, not downward toward the food. That's really the key shift most gardeners don't understand. When you bury food, worms have to find it, but when you layer it, you're actually bringing the food to them. In one of my raised beds, I tested this side by side. One section had buried scraps, and the other had surface layering. Within 2 weeks, the layered section had significantly more worm activity. You could actually see castings forming on the surface. And here's where it gets even more interesting. This is exactly why weeds disappear without effort. When your soil is constantly covered and biologically active, weeds just lose their advantage. Seeds need light and exposed soil to germinate. When you block that with a living layer of organic matter, they simply don't get the conditions they need. At the same time, your plants benefit from stable moisture, consistent nutrients, and improved soil structure. So instead of fighting weeds, you remove the reason they exist in the first place. That's a completely different approach. There's one detail that really determines success or failure: moisture. If that top layer dries out completely, the entire system just slows down. Worms retreat, microbial activity drops, and decomposition stalls. But if it stays slightly moist, not wet, just consistently damp, you create a perfect environment for continuous breakdown. In container gardens, this matters even more. Containers dry out faster, so maintaining that surface layer becomes absolutely critical. I've seen containers with this method outperform traditional setups simply because moisture stays balanced. In hydroponic adjacent systems, this idea translates into maintaining microbial life in root zones. Different setup, same principle. Biology drives results. Let's talk about what to use and what to avoid. Soft materials break down faster and attract worms quicker. Vegetable scraps, fruit waste, coffee grounds, these are excellent. But you always pair them with carbon, dry leaves, shredded cardboard, or paper. If you skip the carbon, your layer becomes slimy and anaerobic. If you add too much carbon, it dries out and slows everything down. You're aiming for balance. In practical terms, I go for roughly equal parts by volume, sometimes leaning slightly heavier on the dry side, depending on moisture. And I never compact it. Airflow matters more than people think. This is where most gardeners overcomplicate things. You don't need to measure perfectly, you don't need special inputs, you don't need to buy worms. If your system is right, worms multiply naturally. That's the difference between forcing a result and creating the conditions for it. Over time, your soil becomes softer, darker, and easier to work with. Water infiltration improves, roots go deeper, and the biggest change, you stop needing constant inputs, because your soil starts maintaining itself. The first visible sign is worm castings, small dark granules on the surface. Then you notice fewer weeds, then your plants start growing stronger, with fewer signs of stress. It's gradual but consistent. In one of my beds, after about a month of continuous layering, I stopped seeing new weeds entirely in that section. Not because I removed them, but because conditions no longer supported them. That's when you know the system is working. If you want to push this even further, do this one thing. Rotate your feeding zones. Instead of covering the entire bed at once, apply layers in sections every few days. This keeps worms moving, feeding, and distributing nutrients across the entire area. It also prevents overload in one spot. Over time, the entire bed becomes evenly active, and that's when your soil truly becomes a worm factory. This is the part most gardeners miss completely. Healthy soil is not built by adding more. It's built by managing what's already there. When you understand how worms, microbes, and organic matter interact, everything else becomes easier. Fertilizing becomes less necessary. Watering becomes more efficient. Plants become more resilient. And weeds, they stop being a problem altogether because you've changed the system they depend on. Final thoughts. If your garden feels like it's fighting you, if weeds keep coming back, soil feels lifeless, and results are inconsistent, it's not random, it's a system issue. And this method fixes it at the root level. Keep your soil covered, feed it consistently. Let biology do the work. That's how you turn your garden into something that improves every season instead of declining. If you found this useful, subscribe to the channel. This is the kind of practical, tested knowledge that actually works in real gardens. And if you know someone stuck battling weeds or poor soil, share this with them. Once they see how this works, they won't go back.